Hey Gadget Groupies, some Gadget Guy here with another little mini case review. The folks at Urban Armor Gear have been kind enough to send over some of their newest cases for some of the flagship phones out on the market today. And today we're taking a look at an offering for the LG V10. The V10 is already a beast of a phone. The V10 itself, with stainless steel rails and the extra sort of plastic and silicone clad shell around the rest of the phone, already provides 810G, Mil Spec 810G drop and shock resistance, which is what Urban Armor claims their cases will add to other phones. Now, I'm a sucker for trying out a good case, so I tore the box off of this, and now I can't find it. This is, of course, the box for the iPhone 6s, which we're going to be reviewing in just a bit. But I just wanted to show, what Urban Armor's branding in their box looks like, and I apologize that I didn't have the right case to show off for this review. Getting that little disclaimer out of the way, Urban Armor has some really cool design elements going on. We've already reviewed a case for a Samsung phone, and a lot of that's translated over here for the V10 also. We've got a semi-rigid bumper case with lots of little impact and shock absorbers. These fake torque screw things here might actually be some of my favorite elements. One, they're designed to kind of look tough, like this thing was ratcheted together, but really these are individual pads. So just like we have these side rails here, which provide a little bit more cushion from a side drop, these things should help prevent your phone guts from liquefying if this thing falls flat. Just as we also have these feet at each of the corners to make sure you have a little extra ground clearance. Make sure your phone isn't scraping, or even the case isn't scraping against the ground or a table when you're out and about. Installing the case is super simple. You just kind of snap it into the bumper like that, and the case is installed. Now, the V10 is not a small phone, and like I mentioned before, part of the reason why is because the phone is already naturally pretty rugged. Here we have additional peace of mind, but it does feel a little unnecessary. The V10 doesn't strike me as a phone that needs a case, but if you want to make sure that it stays looking as clean and as undamaged and as unmolested as possible, this might be a good solution just to make sure that you're not messing this thing up, especially if you have a very active lifestyle. You're going out on camping trips or hiking a lot. Checking out the individual ports, we've got great clearance on everything on the bottom of the phone. We've got a nice little speaker vent there. We've got a nice big cutout for the microphone. We do have good clearance for the micro USB port, and the way that the phone naturally scoops and the case kind of wraps around, I haven't had any issues with thicker USB cables having issues on that. There was a little bit of an issue on the Galaxy S6 Edge version of this case, but here on the V10, I haven't run into those same issues. And ditto the headphone jack, a nice wide cutout so that we have plenty of clearance. Even right-angled headphone connectors have snapped in just fine. Flipping the case over, we see the same thing. Nice wide cutout for the microphone and for the IR blaster. Make sure all of the ports and mics are functioning properly. Again, there's nothing going on the sides of the V10, so we don't have to worry about any controls or operation there. But then we get to the back of the phone, and Urban Armor has given us a really cool T-shaped cutout to make sure our camera module, laser autofocus, our power button fingerprint scanner volume rocker, and a flash with color sensor are all completely exposed, but with a nice little bit of cutout clearance to make sure that in a drop, or if this thing rakes against the bottom of the phone on a rough surface, there's plenty of clearance to protect all of these elements, and my camera lens is super smudgy. Now, I'm not going to do any drop testing on this to see if the case does provide any better protection over a naked V10. You guys know I'm not really into gadget destruction porn, but one of the things I did want to show off, and I don't know if this came from a recent fix from LG, maybe from a recent software update, but the fingerprint scanner on the V10 seemed to rely on some type of metal conductivity with the rails on the side of the phone. So early cases for the V10 would interfere with the fingerprint scanner's ability to turn on the phone. I'm happy to report that either Urban Armor has addressed this in their build, or that LG has addressed it in software, or maybe what we've seen is just the bug fixes and the software patches for both so that this operates properly. But holding the phone in my hand naturally and hitting the power button, fingerprint scanner works just fine. So those of you who were concerned about buying a case for your V10 until those issues got sorted out, I do think that there was sort of a manufacturing miscommunication between LG and the rest of the market as to how their fingerprint scanner solution worked, but it does seem to be working itself out, and Urban Armor Gear has a solution right now which works just fine. And one thing that might be a bit of a concern for people who like the V10's design is the Urban Armor Gear cases have a very sort of glossy backplate. You can see it reflects light really well. And one of the things I really do like about the V10 is that it's got that textured backplate, this sort of silicone rubbery feel. It's very grippy, it's very easy to hold on to. Now, Urban Armor's cutouts give your fingers something to grip onto, and the side rails are nicely sort of ribbed for your phone's enjoyment. But the overall case does seem to be just a little bit slicker than the V10 when it's used naked. And we should probably talk about price. Now, full retail for this is $39.95, but I have seen the V10 case online through various retailers go for as low as $25, which, depending on what your goal is for a case, I think that's actually a good price for a flagship phone ruggedized bumper case. But you'll want to weigh the pros and cons of adding a little additional girth, a little extra heft to your already sizable LG V10. This isn't the same situation where on the Galaxy S6 Edge Plus, I feel the S6 Edge Plus needs some kind of additional protection. The LG V10, I think, is a more survivable phone when it comes to lifestyle abuse. For myself personally, folks, this is probably not a case that I will use full time on my LG V10, not like I do on my Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. But I'm actually stoked to have this in my lineup for those times that I like to go out and take a really rugged hike. I'll happily slap this on the V10 just to give it a little extra protection in the event that I drop it out in the California desert. And I'll of course leave some links down below this video where you can find more information on Urban Armor gear and where you can shop this puppy online. As always, folks, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more reviews like these, and I would not be able to continue producing on this channel if you all weren't out there supporting it, either by shopping using all of the affiliate links below each video, or by buying my book, Take Better Photos, Smartphone Photography for Noobs, is now available on Amazon. And of course, sharing my videos on your favorite social services like Google Plus and the Reddit and the Facebook and the Twitter. That's always greatly appreciated when you bring more cool people to the party. So hit that thumbs up button, and I will catch you all on the next review.